It's just past midnight on July 5, 1969. A payphone rings at the Vallejo Police Department. I want to report a murder. If you will go 1 mile east on Columbus Parkway, you will find kids in a brown car. They were shot with a 9mm Luger. I also killed those kids last year. Goodbye. The caller doesn't stutter, he doesn't panic. He sounds proud. In that moment, the rules of the game changed. This wasn't just a murderer. This was a man who wanted an audience. December 20th, 1968. A date that would mark the entrance of America's most terrifying boogeyman. 17-year-old David Faraday and 16-year-old Betty Lou Jensen were on their first date, parked on Lake Herman Road. They weren't just shot, they were executed. David was shot through the car door. Betty Lou tried to run. She made it 30 feet before the killer pumped 5 bullets into her back. For 6 months, police thought this was an isolated double homicide. But the man who would soon call himself the Zodiac was just warming up. July 4th, 1969. Darlene Ferrin and Michael McGough, Blue Rock Springs Park. This time the attacker approached with a flashlight and a 9mm. He walked away, listened to them groan, then walked back to fire more rounds. Michael survived, Darlene didn't. Michael McGough would later describe his attacker, a white male, stocky, about 200 pounds, with light brown curly hair. He looked ordinary, and that was the scariest part. On August 1st, 1969, the San Francisco Chronicle, Examiner and Vallejo Times-Herald received a letter. Inside a threat: "Print this code, or I will kill again." The letter was signed with a circle and a cross. That Zodiac had named himself a schoolteacher and his wife in Salinas cracked the 408 cipher in just a few days. The content wasn't just disturbing, it was a manifesto. I like killing because IT is so much fun. IT is even better than getting your rocks off with a girl. When I die, I will be reborn in paradise, and those I have killed will become my slaves. This wasn't about money. It wasn't about passion. It was about collection. It was building an army for the afterlife. September 27th, 1969. Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard are picnicking at Lake Berryessa. It's idyllic until Cecilia notices a man watching them from behind a tree. He approaches. He is not wearing a ski mask. He is wearing an executioner's hood. A bib stitched onto his chest displays the same circle and cross symbol the papers had published weeks earlier. He tells them, "I am the Zodiac. I need your car and money. I have to go to Mexico." But he doesn't want the car. He produces a knife. Brian was stabbed 6 times. Cecilia 10 times. Miraculously, Brian survived. Cecilia died 2 days later, unable to identify her attacker. On the car door, he left his signature. The dates of his attacks: Lake Herman, Blue Rock Springs, and today. Under the date, he wrote 3 words: "By knife." 2 weeks later, October 11th, 1969, taxi driver Paul Stein picks up a fare in San Francisco. Destination: Washington and Cherry. It's a quiet, high-end neighborhood. It's a trap. The passenger leaned forward and shot Paul Stein in the head with a 9mm. He took Stein's wallet, tore a piece of his bloody shirt, and wiped down the cab. But he missed something. A single, bloody, partial palm print remained on the doorframe. 3 teenagers across the street saw the killer leave. They described him to police. But here's the kicker. Police dispatch told responding officers to look for a black male suspect. Officers Fook and Zelms actually walked right past a white man matching the Zodiac's description on the sidewalk that night. They said hello. He said hello back and kept walking. The Zodiac later sent a letter with Paul Stein's bloody shirt fragment as proof. He bragged, "The cops were looking for a black man. I'm not black." Over 5 decades, the list of suspects has grown into a crowded room of dead ends and circumstantial fog. The most famous suspect, Arthur Lee Allen, a convicted child molester. He wore a Zodiac watch. His friend testified that Allen called himself Zodiac before the killer was publicly named. On the day of the Lake Berryessa attack, Allen told his family he was going scuba diving at Lake Berryessa. He came home covered in blood. But here's the problem. Allen's DNA didn't match the saliva on the stamp. His fingerprints didn't match the cab. Handwriting analysis was inconclusive at best. Then there's Earl Van Best Jr. His son wrote a book claiming his father was the killer. A handwriting analyst said the marriage certificate written by Van Best was virtually certain to match the Zodiac letters. But there's a problem: the certificate was actually written by a priest, not Van Best. The case falls apart, and Lawrence Kane, a brain-damaged ex-convict who knew Darlene Ferrin. Cipher enthusiasts claim his name fits the code, but physical evidence non-existent. For 51 years, the Zodiac 340 cipher sat untouched. The FBI called it unsolvable. But in December 2020, a team of codebreakers David Orenchuk, Jarl Van Eyck, and Sam Blake did what the FBI couldn't. They didn't just guess letters. They built a software program that treated the cipher like a jigsaw puzzle rotating at different angles, and it worked. I hope you are having lots of fun in trying to catch me. I am not afraid of the gas cam because IT will send me to paradise all the sooner. Even in 2020, he was still taunting us from the grave, but he didn't reveal his name. He didn't reveal the location of the bomb he claimed to have buried. He just laughed. In 2002, the SFPD got a partial DNA profile from the saliva on a stamp. It was enough to eliminate suspects, but not enough to upload to a public genealogy database yet. We've seen what genetic genealogy can do. We caught the Golden State Killer. We identified the boy in the box. The Zodiac letters still exist. The stamps still have DNA. The envelope flaps still have DNA. So why hasn't it happened? Evidence degradation, contamination, chain of custody issues, and perhaps a lack of political will. But here's the truth. This case is not biologically unsolvable. It is procedurally stalled. The Zodiac killed 5 people. He claimed 37. He terrorized an entire region. And then, in 1974, he simply stopped writing. Or was he incarcerated? Did he die? Or is he the old man down the street who never talks about the 60s? We remember the Zodiac not because he was a genius, he wasn't. We remember him because he got away. He turned murder into a game, and in the court of public opinion, the final score is still Zodiac 1, Justice 0. But the game isn't over. As long as that envelope exists in an evidence locker, as long as that partial print sits in a database, the Zodiac hasn't won. He's just running out the clock.